Hey guys, welcome back. This is post-planning operations here on O'Neill Family Farms, and what we're doing right now is we're going to be pulling into a field to work on a power unit here. Cowboys using the road again. So I don't know why I'm thinking of it, but just pulling in this field makes me think of that movie. Any of you remember the film Twister from like the mid-90s? One of my favorite lines in it is they're chasing after this tornado, okay? And the lead driver, there's like 4 or 5 cars set up. And like the lead driver's name is Bob, and he's the guy that's got to get this thing inside this tornado. Anyway, the guys are kind of, I don't know, scruffy guys, 3 or 4 cars back, and they're kind of the navigators that pull out maps. They're like on this way back road, and they're pulling onto it. And he's just like, oh, I gotta find this road. It's like Bob's road. It was funny to me. So what do we got here? This is an older bird crap. It's an older 404 John Deere motor. Got the makings of an old nest, but these rubber tees will go bad on them, and so you got to replace these every once in a while. This motor sits outside exposed, so they just get brittle and then they break over time. I might even change the hose on this. But yeah, for those of you, these are kind of the motors that I think went in like the 4630s, 4430s. They're the 404. But yeah, I think these were the ones that went into the 4430s, 4630s. Yep, 64. There's the tag, 6404 TR. So yeah, I'm gonna replace this guy. I think it's this one. I'll start it and make, yeah, it's gotta be that one. My brother started it to move the pivot out of the way over there, and said one was kind of leaking back, so I will change it out. So I got part of the rail taken off here. They're not super complicated to put on and off. You just gotta do it. Looks, this one's still got the old clamp on it. Usually we just replace them with hose clamps. Oh, set that somewhere safer. Look at that. That looks used. Starts like a true older John Deere. I might snug those alternator belts up and then we should be golden. Well, we're on the skid steer today. The goal is to kind of clean up around the shop, but I'm kind of moving some junk around with the skid steer. This is the inside of a John Deere skid steer. I'll try to hold it still. Skid steers aren't the smoothest riding machines in the world. Anyway, here's your hand controls. This goes side to side, front to back. This is your up, down. You can actually, I think, change your controls over here, but that's the most natural way we found to do it. Gauge is over here. Not sure if I'll get them in one scoop. But if you can see over there, we used to have all this stuff. There's a fence line there by that John Deere tractor. Well, we used to park stuff on the other side. Well, the problem is that grass would grow up. And then in the middle of summer, you couldn't do anything because that grass would be so tall, it'd be hard to mow around all this stuff. So we're putting it on the other side where there's usually cattle grazing. They'll be our lawnmowers around the equipment. So it should keep it nice, and we can keep the other side of the fence nice and mowed. Ooh, Amazon. First things first, let's get the coffee started. So we're gonna step into my private office here, but for the life of me, this befuddles me. I can't figure out how hard the task this might be. It's a half a roll left. This has been going on for a while now. I'll be quiet. Family farms. So today, they're coming after that guy, but we gotta move this guy, in order to, yeah, that might be kind of a tight squeeze, but we gotta get that guy out of there, the tanker trailer out of here anyway, so we'll get started. I believe some call it the equipment shuffle. The biggest thing is seeing any of them start. Now, I'm more concerned about the combine. The tractor's been running, so let's go see if the combine starts before we start moving. Battery's on, not been cleaned. Dead as a doornail. Go get the battery charger. Let that stew and think about what it did for a while. Getting great emergence on the planter bar. Embarrassing. So we got the combine out, kind of gave us some fits. The truck was dead because, well, Dad left the key on. A thing like that usually happens around the farm. The guys from John Deere are taking it down there, so what'd you see back there? Did you see a swather? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Grandpa bought the red one. Yeah, it's it's Grandpa though. You gotta let him go on a couple things, okay? We are going to a field that we started a pivot on, or that we had my brother-in-law weld up some stiffeners on a pivot. We'll show you here. Well, I might not be able to show you because the pivot's running, but let's just head to the field. Right, Garrett? Should we go to the field? All right. You can kind of see a hint of green over the landscape. Let's go, bud. We gonna get on our horse here? Haven't really ran it much this year. This is kind of its maiden 2020 voyage. Shut your door. Were you born in a barn? What? Were you born in a barn? No. No? Okay. All right. I was born at a house. You're born at a house? No, at a doctor's. Doctor's? Yeah, that's probably more like it. I was gonna say, I don't think you're born at our house. Can you turn the key on?
Where is the key?
I don't know. You've left it on before and drained my battery before. True story. Right, bud? True story?
Yeah. Whoa! That was a big bump on that.
Yeah, sure was. It's kind of windy out here, ain't it, buddy?
Yeah. Doing your dad, Mom.
Well, it's running. Doesn't look too bad from here. Hey, are you driving? Why don't you go to the... Here. Whoa, whoa, jeez, whoa. You gotta ease into it, buddy. Okay, so what we're trying to do out here is we got plenty of moisture out here. It's just, this had received a lot of hard rain. I'm just holding my hand in the air here. As you can see here, the beans are starting to poke up, but they need a little help because the top of this ground got heavy rain and it kind of firmed it up. So what running a short pass of moisture will do, kind of help soften that topsoil and just get the rest of the beans through the soil here. This is actually the field that we had from last videos that we had some of the cover crops planted on over here. We're down kind of in the no-till area, so what we're kind of doing is making sure the pivot looks fine. This one has effluent ran through it, so we're just making sure most of the nozzles are working and it's doing a decent job. If you can kind of see, it's softening it up. It'll just help the rest of those guys push through the soil a little better, get a better stand. What we mean by stand is the amount of beans that come up. We try to get most of what we plant to come up, so stand counts, stuff like that. This is what some of the cover crop looks like. So you can see it rained pretty hard. It even kind of smashed it down, but it's dead. Now we're watching the beans come up through it. That's drip oil. For those of you new to the channel, what this does is lubricate the shaft and the column bushings that go clear down in the well. This goes probably 180 feet or so in the ground. I'm just guessing. Maybe not quite that deep, maybe 140. This one's a bigger than normal. This is actually a 10-inch well because this is a big pivot. Normally they're 8 inches or even 6 inches in our area. Usually a pivot on a quarter, they kind of set up to run either 700 to 800 gallon of water, maybe more, maybe less than that, just depending on the well. What I mean by 700 to 800 gallon per minute of water is going through this pivot, and that's under pressure. Ask questions if that doesn't make sense. I actually thought about this more, and I kind of want to run this a little faster than I normally was. But I told my brother-in-law to set it out just because we don't need that much water out there. It'll actually kind of start to run here. We just need enough to soften it up. So this is your percent timer. This is probably the most basic form of the way to control the speed of your pivot. This one tells how fast that end tower to turn on and turn off. So 70% of the time that end tower is going to be running and then shut off. So like 70% of a minute it's going to be running and then shut off. The other ones will just follow that end tower is how that works. Yeah, Daddy will probably take care of this. Hey, good job.
What's that?
We're heading out to another pivot. I usually wait till we start kind of irrigating a little more and I'll run the pivot for like 24 hours and then I'll drop the oil and change it. But today I had a little time. I might get started a little early just to, so I don't have to do it all in one day or when I'm getting more busy. We're gonna head out now and kind of warm it up, let it run for a little while, and then we'll drop the oil and change it. Oh man, I might get my tires muddy. Show you what I did with the skid steer after the last video. What I did is I came up here and I kind of pushed up some dirt along it because it was starting to kind of come out along the concrete. So that's what I was doing. On these drive shafts, you got to grease these, make sure they're not out. And this is kind of an older Isuzu, but these are good motors. They've been pretty good for us. We're gonna start it up, let it run, kind of get some heat to it, and then drop the oil, put some fresh oil in it, and then it should be ready to go for a while then. That way when we start irrigating hot and heavy or have to later on, we won't have to do this one at least. What I've been doing lately is this will be able to hold it, take it back to the farm. We got a bulk oil, and then somebody will actually come pick that up from our bulk used oil and they'll actually burn it in their shop. It's one way to kind of reuse it, I guess. These will leak a little bit more since it's not pressured up, but once it's pressured up it creates a little bit better seal, I hope, but can't really see it over the hill. I'm just running the water to kind of give a little more pull to the motor so it warms it up a little better, and then I'll shut it down. Doesn't hurt. This pivot's got a dump valve flusher at the end, so that'll kind of clean some of that contaminants out too. That might be still sitting in the pipe. Hey, you want to carry the oil and I'll carry the filters? It seems fair. I'll carry this filter. You carry the oil. Can you carry that? Okay. Let's go set it kind of close. Got a little tornado going on in here. Got the filter changed. Got my date and hours put on it. Got Farmer Garrett. The air filter was good. Level should be good. I think we're ready to call this one done. Let's go. So let's check the corn while we're out here. This field was strip tilled. This would probably be about middle of the road for planting dates. So far it's starting to come out of it pretty good of the cold streak. Gap there, but other than that, that guy might just not have germinated too. Think we can find a guy there that might have been planted there. Maybe there wasn't a guy planted there. We won't spend all of our resources out here today. Oh, anyway, it looks good anyway.
Dad.
What? What? There's a missing one there too. This heat's really helping it out, so.
Dad.
looking good. This field looks good. Yo! So if you remember from the video when I said I was planting the waterways in this field maybe, that's coming up too. I just planted a thin stand though to hold it. So far it hasn't completely washed out. I noticed there's some wet spots where it maybe didn't sprout and germinate just because it was always wet, but let's go, let's get in the pickup. Kid, why would you want to run that far and waste your energy? I think I was that age once. You coming? I'll get this guy wrangled up. Let's just hop in this for kicks and grins. Don't know what he's doing. Oh. Just finishing out the day doing this one. Ugh, needs a paint job. Like a golf course. Golf carts kind of had some spots out on it. Other than that, it's not bad, is it? Other things going on externally, a lot of government payments being issued, different programs, and so I've been kind of dealing with those. I'm not going to comment on what I think of those because everybody's got their opinion, and you know, it's something that we're just going to have to deal with. And so whether you agree, disagree, or different, you know, it doesn't really help a lot. We're getting something. I'm appreciative for what we might get, but yeah, I'm not going to comment either way what I think because there's already a lot of opinions out there. And so, you know what, I'm not sure if I know the exact answer to all this pandemonium, so just pray. Thanks for riding along with me on this video journey right now. I know I was kind of doing a lot of random things, but did some video and chopped here and there, so thanks for sticking with it and pushing through and getting to the end here. So kudos to you. Later.